So, welcome to the concluding session for this time at least. After this divine time we had in the temple, I don't really feel like discussing dry philosophy. But anyway, we have to have a balance, because as Swami Vivekananda said, there should be a balance between head and heart. And this is very practical advice for even ordinary people, family people, because if our heart only rules, then it will be mere emotionalism. And if only our head rules, then dryness will come in our lives. Only intellectualism with no emotion is of no use. But mere emotionalism also is not only of no use, it is positively dangerous. Rationality, our emotions should be based on rational thought. Then the numerous problems we encounter in family life, people, we don't have a family, but people come and tell us so many things. So many of those things are because we let our emotions rule our lives. Emotions have to be guided by reason. And that requires some sort of training, because we don't realize actually. So, slowly our trained mind should be always guiding our emotions. Then there will be no problem. So both are required. So we have had a wonderful time at the temple, such a divine atmosphere. And of course, there is nothing like music to raise the mind. So when we are discussing ekagra mind, so mind becomes ekagra or concentrated of itself. So as Swami Vivekananda said, music is the highest art, and to those who understand, it is the highest worship. This is Vivekananda, not me. Vivekananda tells this. So you can imagine what is the importance of he says, even the dullest minds in a moment get concentrated with the help of music. Such is the power of music. It's a God gift to humanity, it's really. The same words when we say, just surprising. The same words when we say in a normal way, they have no power. Just set it to tune. It is simply unbelievable. So, we will start from, it's not much is there. We have reached the end of this topic, which is 5 conditions of the mind. So, the first 3 conditions we have seen that it is actually not at all recommended, especially the first 2, because there is no discrimination in those persons with those types of mind. There is no sense of right and wrong. They are guided only by their desires. Eat, drink and make merry is their philosophy of life. They don't want to listen to anybody. They cannot think about subtle things, let about God. God is absolutely out of their horizon. So, from this, when man progresses, see, this is evolution. As they say in English, every saint had a past. A saint did not become a saint in a second. He had to pass through these stages. And every sinner has a future. No sinner will remain a sinner. It is a stage of evolution, because the power which is inside, the power of God, can never disappear. It will always be attracting him till he reaches that region of peace and blessedness. So these are all stages when the power of the Atman, power of the soul, is slowly manifesting. Even in those 2 categories, the soul is behind that. But the problem is, the time for manifestation has not come. When it manifests more, then we come to the 3rd stage. This one, where most of us are. So culture has come, now recognize the importance of controlling the mind, controlling our thoughts, controlling our emotions, we also recognize that this world, although it may give us some sense pleasures, it can never give us fulfillment. We cannot have the sense of complete peace and blessedness till we are attached to this world. So this thought comes. So a man starts his striving. He starts his spiritual journey. And when he starts, he consciously makes efforts to gather his mind together. In the beginning, it is just for a few moments, then maybe for half an hour, then morning, evening, he tries. So it slowly, and with practice, what happens? The whole, if it is practiced for many years regularly, the whole day, one feels, it is very difficult to describe, one is never really then disconnected with the reality. So such a person, if we can meet, it is a great blessing. I have seen some such persons and I have learnt. So they are always, you can see, even if walking, talking, you can make out that one part of their mind is connected. That is a very advanced stage. So after this Vikshipta or gathering stage, now the two stages is when one has reached practically the last step of his sadhana. He is knocking on the doors of that opening to whatever you call God, Brahman, ultimate reality, Jesus Christ, Buddha, you can call it anything. So what is that state? That state is called the Ekagra or concentrated state. Ekagra or concentrated state. This is the fourth stage. What happens then? There the mind is pointed to one direction only. That is called a one-pointed mind. Patanjali has defined it as a mind when, with the fading away of one thought, the same thought arises again. That is in dhyana, when one has achieved dhyana. So all of us have seen those waves. When we studied in school, AC current, alternating current, these are the waves. What happens? One wave, same wave again goes, again same. So thoughts, it is not that thoughts will not come and go in his mind. Thoughts will come, that will disappear. But the same vritti, this is called a vritti, as we have seen, thought wave. The same wave will come again and again. The mind has become so concentrated. But this is, mind you, this is only when he is in meditation. At other times, he will be doing all sorts of activities. Then what is the difference between him and us? The difference is, even when he is doing those activities, one part of his mind will be connected. Like when we are driving a car. So when we are driving a car, we are talking with other persons also. Sometimes we are also talking on phone, which we shouldn't. So where is our major part of the mind? On driving. But one part of the mind is doing other things also. Same is the case in that person. So in other words, when one thought vanishes from the mind and the next that arises is similar, there is a continuity of such successive states. It goes on and on, on and on. And then the mind is called ekagra or one-pointed. When it becomes a habit of the mind, when the mind is occupied with the same thought which to some extent continues even in dream, then the state of the mind can really be called one-pointed. So such advanced souls in dream also, their mind does not lose connection with God. Swami Turiyananda said that even in dreams one can be alert. But it is possible at a very high stage, not in our stage. When one pointedness is mastered, when this one pointedness goes on for many years, and the man continues to advance, continues to practice, what happens? It leads to what is called in yoga sampragyata samadhi. So, how to understand this? Very easy. Pragya is knowledge. In Sanskrit, in Hindi, in English. Pragya means knowledge. So, sampragya, with knowledge, with the samadhi, is with knowledge. That samadhi is called sampragyata samadhi. This samadhi, on the fourth stage, this samadhi is yogic samadhi, yogic concentration. In the beginning we had seen that we can concentrate the mind in any state, but not all concentration is yogic concentration. But when a person has achieved this very high stage, he has achieved yogic concentration and is now ready for the highest stage, which is mukti or salvation, direct realization of God. In the Vedas, it is said that even if an worldly thought comes unconsciously in the mind of such a person, it has no effect over him. It can do him no harm. So, in this, commenting on this, a great yogi has said, what are the features of this stage? The concentration attained by a mind which is one-pointed. First, it is occupied with one thought only, which brings enlightenment about the ultimate reality. Then what does it do? This one-pointedness loosens the bonds of karma. The bond of karma which is tying us down, it loosens. Because all selfishness goes away from such a person. And it paves the way for the highest samadhi. What is the highest samadhi? Asampragyata samadhi. So, sampragya with knowledge, samadhi. Higher than this is asampragyata samadhi, means without knowledge. Now the question will come, how can something without knowledge be higher than that which is with knowledge? So this is a very subtle point. How it is higher? See, whenever we know something, when we had discussed, now you will realize why we discussed all those things. Chitta vritti, how we gain knowledge, now we can connect with that, why it is necessary. How is knowledge gained? Knowledge is gained when some sense organs bring us some sensation to the mind, which the mind carries to the Atman. If there is no sensation, there can be no knowledge. And every sensation creates a ripple in the mind. That is what the sensation is. That is called the chitta vritti, or a thought wave. Without that, there can be no knowledge. So in sampragyata samadhi, with knowledge means what? There is still a chitta vritti. There is a vritti which is knowledge. Either the man may see some form of God, or he may hear some divine sound which is called anahata dhvani. Something is there, some kind of knowledge he has, because there is still a vritti. That is sampragyata. But the goal is to be completely freed from vrittis. So when even that vritti goes, there is no knowledge as such. There is no knowledge because there is no vritti at all. The mind then ceases to be. And when the lake is completely calm, because there is not even a single ripple there, then there is nothing to separate that person from the ultimate reality. That is called asampragyata samadhi, means where there is no pragya also, where there is no knowledge as we know it. There is no knowledge, ordinary knowledge. That is supreme knowledge. Because there is no distinction between the knower and what is known. What will differentiate? If something is different from me, if this is different from me, so this is an object, I am the subject. I know this thing. This very statement implies that this thing and I am different. But if I become this thing, who will know what? So when one becomes one with the supreme reality, then knowledge as we know no longer exists. What remains then? Sri Ramakrishna said nobody can tell, because it cannot be expressed in words. He said a salt doll went to measure the ocean. Salt doll. No sooner had it gone a little, its very entity vanished. There was nothing. It became completely dissolved. So in that state, our man, this false ego, is completely gone. Nothing can separate us from God then. That is why it is called asampragyata samadhi. So this is a first stage, sampragyata yoga or sampragyata samadhi, and it is a yogic concentration, and it leads to the final stage, which is, as we have seen, asampragyata samadhi. So please go to the next slide. This is ekagra, what we have discussed. Holds on to one thought only. On the fading away of one thought, the same thought arises, this one only, in succession. When this one pointedness is mastered, that means when perfection is achieved in meditation, it leads to sampragyata samadhi. And this leads to the final stage, which Candice knows and which she will tell us about. She is already merged in Brahman. There is no slide, maybe there is no slide. There is no slide. Because who will make slide then? Huh? Please put the light on. Let the night of knowledge alone exist. So this is the fifth state in which the thought processes have been completely stopped, as we had discussed. By long disciplinary practice. This is the state of nirodha, completely band, that is stopped. There, mind ceases to be the mind, because mind is mind only till there are thought waves. Without the thought waves, there is what will be the mind then? What is the nature of the mind? There is nothing which can be called the mind. When through practice all thoughts are shut out from the mind for a long time, that mind can be regarded as having reached this state, last state, asampragyata samadhi. When by this process the mind stuff, chitta, ceases to function, there is no activity in the mind, then we attain the final liberation. So after this, there is nothing to talk, nothing to discuss. What remains? Who will discuss with whom?
So if there is no thought, that means you are dead, right?
No, why should you be dead?
But there is no thought.
Do you think that when you leave this body, you will be dead, you will have no thought? No, do you think that after what is death? Tell me what is death?
It is when all the body functions stop. Right?
Body functions stop. Because the soul, the prana, leaves the body. But your mental functions don't stop. You will see yourself leaving the body. When we die, we will see ourselves leaving the body. Yeah, not through those. How? Only when we die we will know. So, and then what happens? Then in the scriptures it is there what happens. We go to some other plane, we don't cease to exist. And our mind goes with us. So, it is not that we attain samadhi then. Our mental functions stop. It is not so easy. Otherwise, we could have taken some pill and gone and attained samadhi. That won't help because our same self will go to another body. Then again, maybe you'll have to come to the Vedanta Society of Edmonton. So, don't think our problems will be solved by that. And how can this be death? This is immortality. Then we are merged in that reality which cannot be destroyed, which is eternal, which is God Himself. This is called Amaratva Labh, gaining immortality. And that is the goal of all spiritual practices. This is like when Sri Ramakrishna asked Vivekananda, just like you are telling, it is not that what you are telling is out of the blue. It is the natural feeling. So when Sri Ramakrishna asked Swami Vivekananda once, you are on the tip, there is a whole cup full of syrup, sweet syrup, and you are a fly sitting at the edge of the cup. So what will happen when you fall into the syrup? So Swami Vivekananda said, I will die. So Sri Ramakrishna said, this is not an ordinary syrup. This, what we are discussing, he said, is the ocean of immortality. In the ocean of immortality, if you go, you don't die. You attain immortality.
Become one with the fact.
Yeah, you become one with the Supreme Reality. Then there is no death, never again, no destruction, never, no misery, never, no struggle. You are at complete peace. And from that state, if God wants us to take birth, we will again take birth. But we will be Jivan Muktas, we will be free forever. Like the great Shankaracharya and so many other souls. They came, after having attained that state, they came only for the good of humanity. So then, those people who come like that, they are a blessing to all humanity, benefactors of mankind. Because they show us, only through them we can learn, otherwise how will we learn? So suppose we want to go to Toronto, we ask someone, he gives a big lecture on Toronto. I ask him, sir, have you been there? No. What value are your words? You are just quoting from the book. So we will search for somebody who has been there. His words are authoritative. So here also, we search for those people who have actually realized that reality. Like Ramakrishna, Jesus, Buddha, Chaitanya, Mahavira, Mirabai, Tulsidas, all these great souls. There is no dearth of them. If only we would open our eyes and see. So, don't worry. When you attain Samadhi, you won't die.
Samadhi is like life is there or no life?
Same thing he is telling. Same thing you are telling.
No,
That is the source of all life. The reality which we experience in Samadhi, that is life itself. That is existence, knowledge and bliss. only a small portion of that reality is manifesting through us. That is why we think we are living. Otherwise, we would be dead. One spark of that fire is there in us now. But when we attain that, then we will have the full, we will become one with that, we will merge in that. So we will become the whole ocean, you can say. Salt doll, when it goes into the ocean, it becomes the ocean.
So those who enter into Sampradaya Samadhi, do they come back?
They can come by the will of God. That Sri Ramakrishna has said.
No, do they come back means somebody who has attained, who is experiencing, once he go into sadhana, do they come back and die? Or for us, they will not be alive, or they will not talk later on, or they will come from that stage?
Why can't they come? Sri Ramakrishna himself says that these people, Shankaracharya and all, they came. They came, and since they had merged, they had no ego then, but they, for the good of others, they kept a little of the ego, ahankara, otherwise they cannot work. So that ego, he says, cannot hurt them, because that is the ego of knowledge.
So just to follow on from what from the previous question, so I'm really fascinated about this highest stage of samadhi. So when a yogi reaches this state, the yogi will want to remain in this state.
Yeah.
In realization of the supreme.
Absolutely.
So, but if they're still existing in this physical plane, then it must take some conscious effort for them to still remain in the material world.
Yes, it is an
impart knowledge to the rest of us.
Yes, it is an effort to them. That is why Swami Vivekananda did not want that.
Right.
When Sri Ramakrishna asked him, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to remain in samadhi." Who wants all this hassle? Sri Ramakrishna said, "Are you that selfish? You have attained, that is okay. Now won't you let others share? Won't you teach others? You get a treasure, and won't you distribute to others?" So then he was forced. Guru's command, nobody can. He said, "Okay, what to do?" Then he suffered so much for us, so that we can also get that treasure. Showed us the way.
Maharaj, we have been hearing about Rajas, Tamas and Sattva through the 5 states of mind. And you were talking about the Vikipta state, which is where most of us find ourselves. So there's parts of Rajas and parts of Tamas as well. So the goal would be to remove or decrease those and move towards the Sattvic state more and more. So I have 2 questions connected to this. One is, how would we train ourselves to start getting rid of Rajas and Tamas to move towards Sattva? And the second one is, when we are in that Sattvic state and we are thinking, oh, I'm doing something good, I'm coming to Vedanta Society, that's also a vritti that we have to get out of. That's also something.
Let that vritti remain for the time being. Otherwise, Kumudji won't call me again. So don't worry about getting rid of that vritti. We will see to that later. But yeah, getting rid of tamas and rajas is our duty. So simple formula is, get rid of those activities which are prompted by tamas and rajas. Rajas is worldly activity. So give up those desires. If worldly activities are only caused by one thing, desire. If I go to a restaurant or I go to a cruise or go to any European tour, why am I doing that? I am not doing to educate others. I am doing because unfortunately I have more money than I need, and I need to waste that on all those things. So I go. So all these activities, enjoying this, enjoying that, is rajasic activity. And this activity, if we are doing, it has to be because of some desire. Nobody is telling us to do that. We are doing it of our own accord. So we have to give those desires up. If there are no desires, how can the activity arise? Tamas is easy, give up laziness, always be active, alert, active, enthusiastic. Body requires rest. That minimum amount of rest we have to give, otherwise we cannot work. But beyond that, sitting like this, doing nothing, some people thinking God knows what. All those things have to be absolutely, completely discarded. Life should be in such a routine that in one moment we do not have to think what will I do the next moment. Everything is chalked out. One routine, and make it and follow it. No room for laziness. So this is tamas, and rajas is give up all selfish activities as far as possible.
So since you cheated me of my second question, I'm going to ask you another one. Sri Ramakrishna, there's a story of him wanting to put on a silk shawl, and then he puts it on and says, this is a silk.
Then he throws it away. Yeah.
So the desire that even to know what is a silk shawl, etc., that was there even in Sri Ramakrishna.
Let us not pass any comment on what desire was there in Sri Ramakrishna, because those minds we can never understand.
Right.
Yeah, those are absolutely super normal people. So whether there was really any desire or whether that activity was also due to he wanted to teach us, so that we don't know. But suppose he had a desire, then what follows from that?
My question was that we are very mortal people. So you say that give up desires, but it's so difficult.
Who says it is easy? Nobody said it is easy. But we have to start somewhere. So at least the grossly selfish activities which we do, at least that we can give up. Our whole lives, if we just sit back and just think for a while and be honest with ourselves, our whole life is nothing but a life of searching for sense pleasures. We need money for that. We are working. We need money to exist and all. But we are not satisfied with that. We are constantly searching for some new pleasure. Either this movie, that movie, going here, going there, meeting this, meeting that, eating this, eating that. Our life won't be worth 2 cents if somebody told us to stop it. So this, at least from this stage, we have to rise. कितने दिन खाओगे, कितने दिन पहनोगे, क्या क्या पहनोगे? 100 ड्रेस पड़ा है, 50 जूते पड़े हैं. Always planning some trip here and there, always planning some party. What nonsense is all this? Till one is disgusted with all this, spiritual life has not even started, cannot even start. It is impossible. The mind, if it is addicted to these things, how can it think of any higher thing? You cannot have two minds. Either do your partying, do your shopping, unlimited shopping. Shopping is necessary, not that you have to stop shopping. But this excess of everything, wanting for the sake of wanting, which is of no use. Till we are absolutely, till all these things seem absolutely worthless and childish, spiritual life is not possible. It is not a joke. तमाशा नहीं. Mind का growth ही नहीं हुआ है. You have not grown. Sri Ramakrishna said, till a child is busy with toys, he doesn't care to go to his mother. He is busy with, the mother also says, beta, खुश रहो. So God also says, oh, be happy with your burgers and chocolate ice creams and all that thing. You don't need me. When you need me, I am there. This is the problem. Problem is, that is why again and again the scriptures tell us to keep the company of those people. Holy company means what? The company of those people whose lives are based on this. So that we are aware that a person can live happily without all this nonsense. Otherwise we won't believe. And when we come in touch with people, we get a glimpse of that state. But when we are always in the world, always dealing with worldly things, always talking about worldly things. So then what happens? We feel, yeah, this is okay, this is the world. We forget about higher things. सब लोग तो जी रहे हैं, हम लोग भी जिएंगे. Everybody is living like this. We'll also live. No problem. Everybody is also suffering because of this. Then you will also suffer. I will also suffer. Everybody will suffer. We forget that. This cannot bring any good. It has not brought any good to anybody ever. This running after these worldly things without any foresight, without any thought, without any rationality. After 2 days, what happens? Hair, how much will you color? How much will you make it black? After a limit, you have to stop. So, Ma kuru dhana jana yauvana garbham harati nimeshat kala sarvam. Don't be proud of what? Dhana, jana, all your friends, all your wealth, yauvana, your youth, your beauty. Don't be proud of this. Time comes and takes away everything. They are gone. They came and they went. We hold on to these things. We think without these life is useless. Then at the end we will feel life is useless. Because we have not held on to that which is free from all this, which youth and all cannot affect, which is beyond, which is freedom. Until we are governed by all this, we are slaves. We cannot do without those things. So what should we do? Pin our hopes on those things which come and go, which pass away, or hold on to that which will never go, which will never leave us. Which position is better? We want to possess something which will never leave us, or if we want to hold water in our hands. Keep on trying to hold that water. It will never remain. Coming and going, coming and going. This is called Vairagya. Vairagya means turning away from these things, looking for something higher. Enough, I have had enough. When that thing will come, when that feeling will come, okay, I have seen, I have enjoyed, I have learned, there is nothing in these things. I won't be fooled by them anymore. Because here it is already gone, it is going. People will say, someone asked Swami Vivekananda, why have you become a sannyasi? So he said, he asked that person, have you seen God that you have become a sannyasi? So Swami Vivekananda was humility incarnate. Said, no, I have not seen God. Then why have you become a sannyasi? He said, because I know that there is nothing in the world worth achieving. I can see absolutely there is nothing there. So that I have left. Now whether I reach God or not, that is a different thing. This thing should be the first step. In our heart of hearts, realize that sansara asara. Asara means there is no substance here. No fulfillment, real fulfillment. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, okay. 5 minutes, okay. After that, what will happen? You remain the same person as before. Then you again start for searching something new. It never stops. It cannot stop. Because you have to give the mind something. So give it the highest thing.
How do we overcome those obstacles that stops us doing those spiritual practices?
Always remind yourself, keep on discriminating. It will not go in one day. If it would have gone, we would all become saints.
Your mind is sometimes friend for us, sometimes it will act as enemy. So how do we get?
Always keep on thinking in this way. Keep on discussing things. If you can get some like-minded friends, okay. Keep on coming to such places. There's a beautiful temple, there is always some function. So what happens, consciously, the mind has to be kept on a higher level. In the beginning it is great struggle. Again and again the worldly company we are in, because we are all in the world, jobs, wherever we go, where will you find such topics being discussed? Nowhere. They'll be discussing only world, money, this, that, eating, drinking. First of all, keep away from that. It is not that you have to fight with anybody, not at all. Hi, hello, how are you? If you have some work, do work, be cheerful, cooperative, helpful, that's all. And try to be in the company of those who are searching for this. That's really hard to find, I know, especially in this country. But if we are genuinely interested, God shows us the way. And now, of course, so many people are here also in these countries. You can find temples, you can find some event going on. By God's grace, you will find one or two persons who are serious. Then, because we all need human company, we cannot we'll go crazy. So maybe you will find some people who are like-minded,
And how do we practice our mind to wake up at least by 6 o'clock during this winter weather?
See, that we have to do ourselves. Make a schedule and try to stick to it. Sometimes there will be here and there, everybody is there. But more or less there should be a basic rule. That late nights if we have, then naturally we will get up late. So if you keep the sleeping habit proper, that yes, after this time, I won't watch TV or do anything, I will go to bed. Slowly the body clock will adjust. All these things take time. And the willingness to struggle. We try for 7 days, nothing happens. Swamiji is just wasting our time with all this nonsense. If we give up, then it won't work. For one doctor's degree, people have to work for 24 years, 25 years. Then they don't say our teacher is cheating us. So how can we expect results if we don't have patience, if we are not willing to work hard? It is a tough thing. It is not easy. For anyone it is not easy. Not for a monk, not for a householder.
Unless we have any routine, we can wake up.
We have to have a routine. Routine is the first thing. Otherwise, even our worldly work will suffer. Our jobs will suffer. If you don't have a routine, we'll waste a lot of time. But when we tell the mind, no, this is chalked out for you, you have to follow. It should be practical. Not that I will sleep at 12 at midnight and get up at 3 a.m. That is not possible. So make it practical, but once you make it, try to stick to that.
A question in connection with what you just mentioned about how to maintain this company and keep this balance in life. My question is, suppose if someone is born with very less desires for the material world, but despite being a good student or whatever, the whole family is dependent on that person, the person is bound to say, go and earn because that's the only bread earner in the family, and is in a part of industry or whatever, where most of the people who are co-workers, suppose because spiritually we now understand who belongs to Rajas and Tamas and others. So how to stay, because you are committed to 8 hours a day at least in that place, you can come back home and maintain the other company that you are saying with meditation. How to stay unperturbed in those kinds of environment, because suppose if in a discussion people want to talk about those things and you don't feel interest in that.
Yeah, so this for the best and easiest ways and the most practical way, which you may not agree now, is talk as little as possible. If necessary, you hear. While hearing, you can maintain an inner line of thought connected with God. Either you can do japa or whatever, om you can do. Don't talk. When you start talking, then you become involved. Then some people will agree with you, some people will disagree. Those who disagree, then again they will start asking you. So these conversations, if you are forced to attend, first of all try to keep away and be busy with your work. But if you see, no, that is not possible, if you are forced to be there, you sit there silently. Yeah. Always remain connected with your Guru, your God. Just see this panorama. It is just like a cinema going on. Just see that. Yeah, this is all going on. Don't enter into that. Then we can be safe to a great degree. Oh my God, that you should never do. You will be ostracized.
Yeah, so my question was related to the same, that if you understand that you are driven by the desires, or your life is driven by the desires, and you are trying to get away from that kind of lifestyle, then let us say you are following certain things which are driven by desires right now. You got away from it. It's a vacuum. What do you do? I mean,
It is not a vacuum, because you will be busy with higher things. That is the only way.
yeah, I mean, busy with higher things means what we need to do to get into the next level.
These things, you read good books, read holy books written by saints and sages, go to the temple, hear some bhajan, hear some talks on this topic, and it is not that the world is completely free from people who are willing to advance spiritually. No, there are many people, so many people are here. So try to associate with them. Don't be monks need human company. Of course we need. But if I need, I won't go to a casino. I will go to a place where devotees are there. Yesterday itself at Kumudji's place, we had such a nice gathering of devotees. So many people came. We talked of so many things. But we didn't talk of which restaurant is where and which movie is there, not at all. So we all need company. But we should keep company with those who are of similar wavelength, who are also interested in higher things. Then that is not harmful, that is very beneficial. We will get new impetus. Tomorrow we will know, oh, this next week this gathering is there, we will be looking forward. Oh, after that next month this talk is there, this bhajan will be there, that event is there. So slowly what happens? Yeah, in spite of that, we will do something, maybe there's no harm in that. That will also slowly go away. It is not that all the desires will go 100%, it cannot go, it is not possible. After all, we are ordinary people. So slowly by struggle, little will remain, that will do us no harm. Kya hua? Once a month, okay, let's go to a restaurant, 2 months, 3 months. It doesn't matter, because then that thing will not control you. it will not matter then.
When we do spiritual things, does it help us? Like old people we see when they go older, and sometimes their mind is not stable or they forget. So is this going to help people?
Just this thing I was discussing few days ago with one devotee in Calgary. I also noticed this, and I told him, see, as soon as when I've stayed here for more than 3 years, I've seen so many cases of dementia. But I told her, India we don't hear this.
That's right.
India, other things are there, bad things now, cancer and all, everything, it is becoming so much. I don't know what causing that. But we don't hear people of dementia, suffering from dementia, loss of memory. So I was surprised, and I was asking her what may be the cause. So that devotee said, yes, you are right. One cause may be because people here are, after an age, they suffer mentally. They suffer from loneliness. In India, although not as much as before, but still there is family bonding. And of course, religion is the backbone. So there are so many temples, people can find time, spend their time there. At Advaita Ashram also, there was one old couple. Their son lived in America. So that old people, he was above 80. Prafulla, his name was Prafulla Babu. He has passed away. Whenever we used to see him, he used to be cheerful. He is alone with his wife. So how did he maintain? He said, Maharaj, by God's grace I can walk. I don't need a stick. So I come here every Sunday. Every Sunday we had program. I go to Mayarwadi. I go to Belur Math. I have contact with sannyasis. I talk to them. That is keeping me well. And just 24 hours illness, he passed away.
So you are saying those who are in this spiritual thought, it is likely helping them to
I
go
think
away
so.
from-
I think so because even in my little experience, the monks, 80, 85, 90, but their thinking is absolutely clear. Seattle Swami Bhaskarananda, he is 91. He cannot even stand. Till 6 months ago, he was giving talks. So that much alertness is there that he can still speak maybe 15-20 minutes on some spiritual topic. 90-year-old man. How does that happen? So this is the thing. That is why problem is one person told me in Vancouver, one lady requested, Maharaj, one day tell of something about Vairagya. I said, if I start, then nobody will come the next day. Because people have all sorts of wrong notions about Vairagya. We practice Vairagya every day. Every day. Straight from our student life. When our exam is there, don't we leave television? Don't we leave movies for some days? Is that not Vairagya? While we are working at our office, suppose boss has said, please do overtime for 5 days, I need you badly. There is important work. We leave everything. Even if a family we leave for 5 days. Is that not Vairagya? So every day we are practicing Vairagya. Because otherwise life will not go on. We will not succeed in anything. So it is not something which we are not aware of. The only thing is, the higher the goal, the greater the renunciation has to be there. All these big athletes, big achievers, you study their life, how many things they gave up with that one goal in mind. How many hours of practice? 8 hours, 10 hours of practice. Someone told, maybe Beethoven or Einstein, I don't know, genius is 99% perspiration, only 1% inspiration. So we are practicing every day We don't do that. The only thing is, if we aim for the highest, then our renunciation also has to be the highest. We are trying to get something which will never leave us. Even if the whole universe collapses, we will be unaffected. That is the state. Can we attain that without doing anything, lying on the sofa? So, it is just carrying it further. Not that what we are doing is bad, not at all. We are good people, we are kind people, we are spiritual people, we are trying. But there is more to achieve. So we should not be satisfied with what we are till we reach God. And we cannot be satisfied. Even if we tell ourselves, after 5 days, we will again, no, something is lacking. Let me again proceed, let me again try. So in spite of us, we will one day reach that ocean of peace and blessedness. Now, how sooner or later depends upon us. कोई शाम को खाएगा, कोई दोपहर में खाएगा, कोई रात को खाएगा. Someone will get food in the morning, someone in the afternoon, someone in the night. Nobody will remain unfed. But if we are really hungry, can we wait for the night? That is the thing. So nothing to be, Vairagya is nothing to be depressed or, it is not at all that. Absolutely not. Little Vairagya, if it doesn't come, our lives will become hell. People make their lives hell by being inordinately attached to their sons and daughters and family. After a stage, it is not good, neither for the boys and girls nor for you. Neither will they like, nor should you do it. Their growth will be hampered. Our job is to give them the best till they are adults. Best thoughts, best education, nutrition, advice, health. Our job is to make them learn to think for themselves. How long will we be with them? After some days we will go somewhere else, leaving the world. Then what will happen to them? If we keep them dependent upon us? Give them freedom after guiding them in the right way. But if we don't have our own guidance, if our life itself is without any helm, how can we guide them? So, it is not at all something to be depressed or lose hope or this, not at all. At first it may seem, but afterwards when this thing matures, we will find that how much peace has come into our life. While if we don't have that, what is going on all around you see. Yes, people are outside, they won't tell you their inner feelings. But outside they will be happy and laughing, but inside they are suffering. It is suffering. One song was there, permit me. You will think this fellow, what sort of songs is saying. There is a very famous song by Talat Mahmood. फिर वही शाम वही गम वही तन्हाई है. Again the evening has come. Again that sorrow. Again that loneliness. Beautiful song. And the composition is simply wonderful. So this we want to avoid. And the only thing is, hold on to something which won't go. Other things come and go. Nothing remains. no person, no circumstance, no place, no belonging, no riches, nothing remains. It has come, it is gone. It's come, it's gone. Now, isn't it time for us to search for something which will not go? Something to hold on to? So, not only we will do that, but we are bound to do that, because although we can leave God, God cannot leave us. God is inside. So, ultimately we will have to reach there. We will reach there. Nothing to be depressed about and nothing to be... This is the only hope which will keep us alive. Other things are hopeless. No use pinning your hope on any other thing, because it will not last. Everything is positive here, and by God's grace, we have got this, we have come to know of this. Is it something small? Is it something minor? It's a great thing that this is not all. This need not be our fate. Lying alone, disappointed, frustrated in our old age, with nothing to look forward to. This will not be there. We'll find people, like-minded religious places, spiritual places. Why those see the devotees even in elderly age? Why are they so happy, active? What makes them? This is the only thing. We are extremely lucky. One person of devotee of Calgary, she had come today, she has gone. She was telling me, she is in an old age home facility, she is looking after this. She was telling me of a doctor. He had everything, a famous doctor, wife, children, everything. Wife passed away. Children left him. Tons of money. What will you do with that money? You know what he did? In that old age home, absolutely broken man. He refused food. And the only thing he used to take is, he drank himself to death in front of her. He said, I cannot live now. I have nothing to live for. For whom I will live? Everything is gone. Drank, damaged his liver and died a disappointed and frustrated man.
So in philosophy, this is because of desires he was attached. And that's
Because he had no higher thing to hold on to. That when these things will go away, which one day they will go, then what will I have? Apna kya hai? Apna means what? My. This word my, we always say, my this. Are those mine? We know those things will leave us. So how can they be mine? I can call something mine only when it will never leave me. And only God will never leave me. Because God is not separate from me. So hold on to that. Yes, initial stages it is not easy. Nobody says it is easy. But that struggle is worth it. We are all struggling. Now there are two ways. Struggle for something which will not remain with you. It will go 100%. Or struggle for that which will never go. Struggle for that, even if one step you take, it is a permanent gain. It will not go. You take the name of God once, it has gone inside. It will never leave you. When you die also, that will go with you. But here you can pile up riches by the millions. Not a single thing will go with you. This is Vairagya. Vairagya is not living in some shunya or living, going out in the streets and living in rags. That is not Vairagya. This is Vairagya. Give up the lower for the higher. And we are doing this every day. Knowingly, unknowingly. We could have all now been watching a movie. Have we not given that up to be here? Because we feel this is worthwhile. This is not Vairagya. This is Vairagya. Now we have to carry this forward. Go on this path. Take joy in higher things only as far as possible. So, as I said, sometimes here and there it does not matter. What is it? God will not be displeased if we go once in a while and have some nice things or meet some friends but overindulgence, too much of worldly talk, no. And after some days you won't feel like that only. It will cease to have any attraction for you. That is the thing. Anyway, I will keep on talking like this, so there is no end.
And there's no questions from
I
the
don't
chat.
think now anybody has the energy to ask questions anyway.
They
But
couldn't-
still you can-
couldn't hear the questions.
But they could hear the answer.
No, they couldn't hear the answers.
So you can just ask and mute them and ask if
Do we have any questions from the chat?
they're all muted.
Thank you. Oh,
Yes, this is Isha.
Ishadi,
First of all, kind of it is disappointing but sad that the quality of the sound at the retreat today was not really very effective for
Not clear.
Huh?
sound was not clear.
So for participation that creates a problem because you couldn't hear it properly.
the
And
questions
right
you
now-
mean?
Yeah, that's one thing because we could have participated in questions that were already posed, I think, depending on. But anyway, in the morning the sound was much better, and I just I could not, because I was also absent yesterday in the last discussion. My question may be partially biased, but I wanted to ask Swami, why the big sister and the sister, why are they considered so differently? I know Swamiji was very helpful. Swamiji's explanation was very helpful in understanding that a little bit of awareness about the sattva in the shifta, I think, or in the big shifta.
See, why they are different we cannot say, but this is the way.
Am I right?
No, this is the way they have been defined in the scriptures, you see. So, why and how we cannot say. These are the stages through which we go, and these are the names assigned to them. So, although the names may be similar, Vikshipta and Shipta, but still one is far different from another. That is the way of the terminology we have no control over.
No, Maharaj, it's not so much that. As you know very well that in Bengali also, in language, we have the
I know.
not shifta, but big shifta here.
Yeah, I know.
Scattered mind. So I'm trying to understand that what makes it different. It is not so much the technology. I'm trying to understand, as you were trying to explaining the different states of mind, like how does one big shifter of a person of a big shifter nature try to attain the shifter nature, for example?
Yeah, we've been discussing that only all right through, that how we can attain that nature. It's a long path, and for the last 45 minutes we've been discussing that only.
Yeah, I sadly, the technical quality of the sound, it was not reaching us very well. I think me as a virtual listener from Calgary.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like that.
I'm sorry that
I
happened.
don't want to waste time, your time or the other time for other participants. So if it has been addressed, that's fine. Maybe I'll call you one day in Vancouver and listen to it and learn from it.
Thank you. So anybody
And
else?
I also could not, I was so disappointed you have that bhajan, Hey Ram, in the temple and listen to this. And again, we are so grateful for your guidance, and I was so much, as Vedanta, I was looking forward to your music session. We keep on thinking, planning for just a music session for the bhajan video. But anyway.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody else is there?
Posted on YouTube.
So, concluding words, our respected Kumudji.
No, shall I say?